Welcome to channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Now today's video is all about some update of the news, and should you be considering to subscribe to my channel, please do so by clicking on the subscribe and also putting on the notification on, so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now, obviously, the new government, the Labour government, the Albanese government, took place about a month ago. Obviously, there has been a lot of issues to be resolved towards a new financial year. Only 1 month. I personally, I think it's just not enough time for them to actually overhaul and provide a lot of changes to the policy. But hopefully, there is enough time that this new government, the Labour government, will actually get it done. So let's catch it up, see what's happening over the last weekend. Obviously there has been a lot of international issue going on, but we hope that the migration gateway will be open for Australia, and looks like it's going that way anyway. So let's have a look. The first news coming from Financial Review. Now, doesn't sound like a good news, but let's have a read what it actually meant. It's basically paved again, it's revealing the former government, the previous Scott Morrison's government, had actually done, which is looking like a destructive way in the visa system, which we had predicted and also had chat about over the last few weeks, perhaps last 2 years. I've been notifying with the videos and all that. However, I'm just a little player in this industry, but providing this information to make it transparent actually allows a lot of viewers and a lot of people who are interested in migrate to Australia have a better view and strategic to actually deal with their visa. So what's happening? Visa chaos after 875 million budget cut. What's happening? What's up, man? What's happening now? This is not the current government. This is just right before the former government, what they have done. Let's have a read what it's actually said. An 875 million budget cut at Home Affairs Department is set further blowout already stretched visa waiting. Look, this is crazy. We have been through all these issues, looking at visas that's processing times like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You know, it's going massively crazy, and despite of knowing the delay and backlog, the former government still cut budget. Well, it looks like there's a lot of money that the former government cannot really manage. That's why they're cutting budgets from some department. I doubt this is the only department being budget cutted, but obviously we're only interested about the visa and the Department of Home Affairs. So let's have a look what's actually happening. The federal mega agency is already grappling because it's mega, it's huge. That's why there's a lot of money can be cut. Low staff morale and record volume people stuck in bridging visa. We have studied the article came out last week. There's about 300-400 bridging visa people, but the cut recorded fine detailed budget amount. The third department migration operation, leaving the fear of delay would drag on into next year. I think that's what. Is this a conspiracy? Is this something that the former government Scott Morrison knew that he's going to lost the election, so he actually did this? I don't know. Look, I don't know. I'm just here to commenting on some news article that we have going through. So with skill shortage forcing firm turn down business because they do not have enough staff, and wanted to work with the Albanese government to speed up process, record 423,000 job vacancies. Wow, now that is crazy. Now how do you bring 423,000 people into Australia? That is still a myth, despite the pandemic is still going on. There's still Omicron variant going on at this point in time. Medium short-term temporary skill visa currently takes 83 days, finalized in 53 March. 1/4 applicants taking at least 1 year to process. So imagine, that's what I'm trying to say. Imagine that you're an employer or you're an employee knowing that You can only go to work 12 months later, or the employer only gonna have this guy come into Australia to work 12 months later. Now that just doesn't make any sense. So what happened? Josh Murray, director of engineering construction company Lane O'Rourke, said the recruitment is being hampered by visa process time 15 months or more, inconsistent guidance, a lack of feedback. That's another big issue. Have you experienced trying to contact the Department of Immigration and never get any response? Yes, I do. I got a lot of things like this. Now, client asking me to contact the immigration, but immigration just don't even care, don't even bother to respond, and that's the problem. Prior to now, we are not there to actually intimidate the department or wasting department's resource, but some of the delay and backlog, it's just gone crazy. Look at this engineering company waiting for a sponsor employee for 15 months. That's more than a year. Prior to COVID, temporary visa were processed around a week. That's very good because that really helps the industry and things. I suspect the former government was actually running out of money, so they are looking at department to actually cut the budgets and to actually sustain the other part of the economy in order to allow the nation to run. However, they just did not allow people to know, and they continue to cut because Department of Immigration, Department of Home Affairs generally does not impact the general public much, but for business owners and for migrants it does. Now again, I'm trying to say is Australian population, Australian people are not dumb, and they see the issues, and that's why the former government had actually lost the election. Okay, so Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Immigration Minister Andrew Giles this week raised concern about the state of processing of visa, growing number of application ballot delay, and that is just look at the budget expense continue to lower and lower down. That's what they're trying to do, despite of they trying to increase the numbers of migrants. So I think the Labor government is definitely going to do something to overcome of this issue. But the March budget handed down by former Morrison government contained a 1/3 reductions again. So this again, that's what the former government had actually done. Whether or not it's a conspiracy conduct, I'm not too sure, but anyway, I think the government is here to fix the problem. That's why there's a news article like this to be out there in the public, to allow people to know, to review all the bad conducts and records of the former government had actually done. So expensive budget for $2 billion, which is no good. So the Treasurer June Chalmers will hand out Albanese's government the first budget in late October. So hopefully there are ways to balance this up. And again, Australia is a nation with 6th largest continent with only 25 million people. Very, very in need to have more skilled workers, migrants, another way to say it, to come and help Australia. So former Department of Immigration senior official Abu Rizvi, he usually do a lot of media, and I always refer to his article, which is very direct and very accurate. Said that the looming budget cut was occupying resource at Home Affairs. This focus is not on faster visa processing and focus on how the hell do we manage such a budget gap. So short-term solutions. So what's the solution? Let's have read. He said that it appears Home Affairs have brought funding forward to address current resource issue, but agency was set to pay price over the next couple of years. So what they're trying to say is the department is actually borrowing money from the federal government, although they are federal government's agency. And anyway, that's how they're going to do it. So balance the stuff up because of the last 2 years, and then goes up again. It suggests me that happened. Department of Home Affairs has borrowed money. That's exactly what I just said. There are now just 96,000 skilled temporary visa holder in Australia, which is crazy. That you imagine, 6th largest continent in the world, and there's only 96,000 skilled. You can't find any countries in Asia has more than that kind of skilled workers in any Asian countries. So again, there's more complaint. At the same time, candidate are bulking, accepting position on uncertain time frame because of logistics involved. And that's a problem. That's a problem. I mean, major issue is the employer waiting for 12 months for someone to come to work, and the employee waiting for 12 months in order to get to the work. So what do you do within this 12 months? That's just not gonna resolve any issues. Culture refusing visa. So that was the previous government had refused a lot of visa. They put a lot of visa in doubt. And suspect them are using this kind of visa and pathway to migrate to Australia. So they refuse a lot of people, which is not right. I got a lot of clients back then, last 2 or 3 years or 5 years ago, got refused. And there's a huge number been refused and going on to AAT. And ultimately, they just ditch the opportunity because they're not gonna wait anymore. This is just crazy. What can they do within these months? It's just like they're putting these skilled workers, like the refugees, in the detention center, like in the Christmas Island. The people stay there and they have no idea what to do, no certainties, and you don't know what to do. And the world come with a pandemic and also the war in Europe, and just making these migrants and skilled workers vulnerable. Unhappy departments, morale at Home Affairs. So that's what's this one trying to say is people working in the Department of Home Affairs and Immigration is not happy about how the department is treating these people. The public service agency with more than 1,000 employees, fewer than 1 in 2 employees said that they will recommend Home Affairs as good place to work. So that means half of them doesn't believe the work that they have is good. A lot of unhappy people and big backlog and budget cut. Obviously, you know, when they get contacted by the either going to be the agents, solicitors, the lawyers, or the applicant themselves, there's huge complaint going on. And remember, in my channel back in the last 12 months, there has been a lot of industry people and bodies has coming out and advising the government to do something. However, they didn't do anything. And they continue to stay at the low profile for immigration and end up with a loss of election. I personally think that the immigration policy is one of the major issue that actually made Scott Morrison lose the elections. That's just my personal view, because they say just have been too many issues, and that has been struck and affect to a lot of general public in Australia. So anyway, not to by saying Ukraine issue in Ukraine. So immigration Mr. Giles said that the coalition had devalued immigration, leading to gridlock and holding us back, and that's exactly what it has done. And well, look, so what's gonna happen? I think I'm pretty hopeful that positive news is gonna come out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read another news came out just today, this morning. So this actually come from Brisbane Time, also Sydney Morning Herald. So the title reads, "We have got to open up quickly." Who said that? The business leader. Now again, these business leaders were the people informed, advised, notify the former government to actually do something with their visa system. Obviously, the former government did not do anything, and they kept the system at the same place, at the low profile. And obviously, if you don't listen to us, we're gonna vote for another party. And that's exactly what happened. The business people used to be the stronghold for the Liberal government. Now they have moved towards Labor. That's exactly the landslide that we have actually seen what happened. So business heavyweight, the former Qantas chairman Lee Clifford says Australia must ramp up the skill migration in response to significant staff shortage. The Melbourne-based business veteran who has been made a champion of Order of Australia, so AC, well, that's a very renowned like medal someone could actually have in Australia. The nation hires a civilian honour in this year, Queen's Birthday honour, said that the aviation sector has been particularly disrupted by the ongoing shortage. Now that is very true, and not just aviation, but I think across every single industry. What about international education? What about hospitality? What about the tourism industry and everything all the professional IT, mining sector. It's sort of shortage out there. Now, Australia has always been relying on significant immigration of skilled people, and we have got to open up quickly. So, long airport queues, again, caused by the issue. Look, there's 2 years of lockdown. A lot of people used to work in the aviation industry. They had left, or they had changed their jobs. They probably don't want to come back. So in order to get these people trained up and to get ready to work in the airport, it take time. So Clifford was also a former Rio Tinto chief executive. Rio Tinto is one of the largest mining company in Australia. So the economy-wide shortage of labor and material were also a key factor to driving inflation as well. So if we can get more people working and producing goods and services in Australia, it could actually battle the inflation as well. So I'm very welcome on how Clifford's statement in regards to this. Now, it's one of another major business body and a champion of the business sector in Australia to come out and say, look, we really need to open up. And I think this is good news for everyone who are interested to migrate to Australia. Lack of foreign skilled workers in Australia is partly because of declined immigration over the past 2 years. Now, they're trying to stick this to Scott Morrison's management, but it's actually been there for at least 4 or 5 years, starting from Peter Dutton become the Minister of Home Affairs. He just changed a lot of things. Get a lot of refusals, and starting from that point, moving on to Scott Morrison's last 2 years, obviously it caused a lot of things. Not by saying the delay approving visas and things. It's just basically repeating everything that had been happened over the past 2 years. So I think the current government, Labour government, won't be dumb not to listen to these business leaders and end up like Scott Morrison's, last month. There's definitely something that I believe the Minister of Immigration, current Minister Andrew Giles, will actually do something there. So very optimistic. Before his Qantas chairmanship, Clifford spent 37 years in mining, CEO from 2000 and 2007. There's a lot more information of himself, which is not really relevant, but it basically paved his profile and background in order to match what he's trying to the message that he's trying to deliver at the Queen's birthday, which is actually the holiday today, public holiday today in Sydney and Melbourne. So I'm pretty happy about this news article, despite the first news article was about the budget cut, which perhaps is going to make the system crumble more. But I think once these things had been revealed, what the former government had actually done, causing the issues, it's good that we're in a democratic nation where transparency is very important. So what the current government or the current Minister of Immigration would do? Obviously not to follow that kind of crap, because that would just crumble the system more. So I expect there will be there will be change coming up just right before July, and see how that will go. Again, I cannot say more about this, because if not to raise the annual intake or migrations, it will not resolve any of this issue that we have just talked through over the past month. So let's see what happened. Anyway, should you have more question, query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.